I got the news up.
Yo, we caught us lacking.
You know,
Oh, I know. Hello, good evening. Like I say, good something. Here, well, podcast episode dash dash dash. I don't remember. It's okay. We'll get it popping. We're having a spirited discussion, but we'll see. We'll tell you what and the why in a second. Again, I'm the host of the most Go Beyond Galen H, joined with me by my two Omega Mutant brothers, Primate Austin J.
what up? What up? Happy to be back. Kong and Philo, bro. Go see that Godzilla X Kong, boy.
Can we actually talk about that like for a couple minutes?
Yeah. Sean Thomas.
Yeah. Just don't get canceled or killed.
Yeah, cancel.
Never happens.
You know what? Sean Thomas, lead the way. Talk about it.
Yo, what's going on, guys? I just want to say I absolutely love that movie, and people were trying to be like, oh, it's gonna be stupid, or like, oh, it didn't have enough emotion, or like the human aspect of it. I was like, we get to see
Giant monsters,
Titans. Like actually communicating and wiling out, just destroying nonsense. It was my favorite movie of the year so far.
Woo! Wow.
It says I'll go see the movie again and again because freaking Kong in a hollow earth, like just talking and what, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm not saying that else, but it's good.
It's good. And you know what? I have seen the argument, but it's not really an argument because everyone knows. I mean, I'm a 30-year Godzilla fan. Die hard, y'all know this, Sean.
Listen,
we all know that the Godzilla stories are never good. The human stories are never good. The only one they got right, and I would say Godzilla X Kong is the best one of the year, if I didn't see -1 like 3 times at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, -1 was great.
-1 is a perfect Godzilla film.
Yeah, I think it could be considered a perfect film.
It could be because it does everything. I mean, it's the first Godzilla movie in 70 years, the first Godzilla movie ever to win an award.
Yeah.
But Godzilla X Kong, listen, it's not for the humans. It's not for emotion. We are strictly seeing this movie just to see monsters fight, as we have seen every other Godzilla movie. We care about the monsters fighting. Yeah. I can only name, and I have them all, I can literally name just a handful of stories out of all the Godzilla movies. A handful of stories. They have no depth, but just a handful. Yeah. But this was a perfect monster mash movie. You want to see big dudes just go at it and just do craziness and see Godzilla just completely wild out and Kong do his thing. It's the movie, bro.
Yeah.
Question.
Amen.
Amen. Like that quick review?
Boom. It's doing so well. It's killing it at the box office. It's doing so well.
Was it all like 300 million now? And they only
something like that, bro.
And it's not even summertime either.
Nah, it's very exciting because Wingard knows the movie. And people were saying Wingard doesn't know Godzilla because Godzilla's barely in the film. Just because Godzilla's barely in the film doesn't mean he doesn't know Godzilla. He knows Godzilla. That is Godzilla. Not listening to reason, fighting everything in their mom. That's it.
Godzilla wasn't in the majority of the movie in -1. He wasn't in the majority of the movie in -1, but it's Godzilla -1. He doesn't need to be in the majority of the movie for him to have impact because he's the one that pops off that everybody's waiting to see. Like, sure, it's Godzilla X Kong, and sure, we got more Kong than Zilla, but when Godzilla comes through, everybody knows it's a wrap. We know that. Kong knows that. Every other Titan knows that. Everybody knows Godzilla's about the action. So when you see him, you know it's going to pop off. And that's what we were all waiting on.
Yeah. People have been complaining about that since the first one dropped in 2014. They're like, yeah, we barely saw him. We barely saw the fights. But here's the thing. It's like, listen, if you look at all the original movies and you're seeing Godzilla, if the movie's an hour and a half, you're seeing him an hour and 25 minutes, the novelty wears off of seeing him. So what they have been doing right in the MonsterVerse is, like you said, Sean, every time you do see him, he's still in the show, for real. And when Godzilla, he pops up a little, he has his snippets of just ultimate fights in this movie. And then when he, then you don't see him for a while, but when he does pop up, he steals the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Why is it? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, people complain about this junk so much. Terror of Mechagodzilla was one of the best Godzilla films that they put in. It was the last one of the Showa series. Godzilla didn't pop up until an hour into the movie. You never saw Godzilla until an hour into the film. It was everything else. It was nothing but people talking, a couple Titanosaurus, maybe a little quick glimpse of Michael Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla, but you didn't see him for an hour in an hour and a half movie.
Yeah.
People
Why
forget
is it
about
that why is it that Kong always gets, it feels like Kong always gets bodied by Godzilla. I
because he
mean,
realistically can't win. But I
yeah.
mean,
Bro, we talking about an ape
I'm gonna do what I
versus
can, but
literally a radioactive lizard. Like a
right,
radio he walks and the ground burns. Like
I
I
know.
walk next to Godzilla and get cancer. Like we're
Yeah,
talking about that. You know what I mean? Like the only reason why Kong won, and shout outs to my boy Tino for even telling me this. The
Oh,
whole
Tito.
reason why they won in Kong won in the old ones when they fought is because they were trying to appeal to American audiences, and Kong is like the
Mm.
Americans here,
It
like
was
a
an American
monster,
film.
and Japan has Godzilla. But it's like even Godzilla, what happened was he just falls into the water and then he's just there, right? So it's like he didn't he Godzilla lives in the ocean. So how does that
Mm.
make him lose? Like
Mm.
you can't win. Godzilla will kill Kong over and over again to no point. The only reason why Kong's alive is because Godzilla allows it. That's it.
Mm.
They usually give Kong, like in that 62 version, I mean, they gave Kong the power of electricity, so he had the power of lightning. And then in the movie they made lightning Godzilla's weakness.
Yeah.
And it's just like it was a lot of stuff just to make it work. And yeah, I mean they Kong won on a technicality because the freaking cast and crew had a press conference after the movie and they just said, yeah, Kong won it. Like, and that's what we have to go off of. It was an American film with some Toho in it. But
Yeah.
that was it. But this chunk was perfect. And you know what? What I really like is that even though Kong ultimately has been losing to Godzilla in this movie and in the last one, that it's a lot of respect
Mm.
Yeah.
on Kong because Kong actually puts up a really great fight every single time.
Mm.
But like you said, Sean, it's just Godzilla's
You
he's
can't
a little
hope.
much. He's a
Yeah. I
little
mean,
much.
it's like me going up against Mike Tyson. You know what I
It's a little
mean?
much.
Like maybe he'll let me hit him a little bit, but
Mm.
if he's serious, I'm losing. I'm walking out with one less ear and,
Right.
and a broken rib. Like that's what you know.
He's
Better
gonna,
hope it's that.
he's gonna
Yeah,
stun
you
you.
better hope.
Oh, and you know what? Speaking of broken ribs and domestic violence, talk about let's talk about Jonathan Majors today because
Oh,
we
that
talk
that that
Now,
Godzilla all
now,
day.
that
now,
transition is wild.
smarten me up, cause
We're demonetized.
So bump it. So obviously we know what happened with Jonathan Majors. What was it last year? If you
Mm.
don't know, you've been living under a rock.
Mm.
Virtually, he's been getting in trouble with the court system because allegedly he was abusing his girlfriend. She complained. There's videos of him running away from her, and yet
Mm.
somehow he's abusive, domestic violence, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, the thought initially was going to be that Jonathan Majors was going to be guilty or whatever, pleads guilty, and that he was going to have to end up doing like, I think, 364 days in jail, something like that. No matter what, it's jeopardized his whole role in Marvel because now
Yeah.
Marvel's pretty much kicked him out as King the Conqueror, which is why if you watched our previous episode, we were talking about the Fantastic Four and some of the ideas like having Galactus showing up, having Doom show up now that Fantastic Four is joining the Marvel circle, not so much the MCU. But actually released today, April 8th, he's now not going to jail, but he's going to do a 52-week like domestic violence, like batterers intervention program.
Mm.
So he's going to be doing that for a year instead of going to jail. Now, that being said, how do you guys feel? Well, what do you guys think? Do you think this is going to have a still long lasting impact on his career in Marvel, on his career in general? Um, and if it is going to still have an impact on his career in Marvel, what do we think the alternatives are for making this new boss? We've talked
I,
about it a couple times,
I
but
mean, I mean, I say it could. It's weird because like the first person I think of is Robert Downey Jr. You know,
mm,
pre Iron Man, and how many times he went to jail and drugs, and I think like just some wilding stuff. I mean, it was a different time. And then he does, then he has a little bit of a comeback. Then here comes Iron Man and Disney. No, not even Disney. Marvel at the time was like about to file bankruptcy, but they considered Robert Downey Jr. a risk,
Yeah.
and then it paid off, and then, rest is history. So, but then again, this is pre-Disney buying him.
Yeah.
So
Cancel
that's
culture
my
is
only,
fun.
yeah, that's my only hang up. I mean, he could definitely make a comeback. I'm just not sure with where Disney falls in on that. I don't think his career is dead, but
No.
I don't there's nothing like that Disney money, man.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, I just don't see it right now, especially right now if everyone kind of knows that the Marvel movies are on the downslope. So if they're trying to pull up the nose a little bit,
Can't have
and
them.
I mean, people love a comeback story, especially in the US. We love comeback stories and everything, but I think that's a hard sell as far as him and Disney anything. He can go somewhere else for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah.
think, Sean?
I agree with Galen. I don't think Disney's giving him a another role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be King the Conqueror anymore. Like I feel like that ship has sailed. However, I don't think this is the end. I think after a while there will be people who sympathize with him, and he will get like parts probably after a year and change maybe.
Yeah.
But I feel like he could get lesser roles in certain movies, like the small movies or like the
Indie.
yeah indie film or like maybe even like how
A24 movies.
yeah how they got like Medea. You know how those Medea movies got everybody that like they keep the same people.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, maybe a Tubi movie like
Oh no.
Oh,
His
not the
career is
tube.
cooked.
That's
oh
free.
no no
His career is
Tubi
cooked.
Tubi movie maybe like a Hallmark movie and
His career is over, bro.
yo
If you say soap opera or General Hospital next,
he's got
good.
at least, but hold on. At least he's got some cash because ain't nobody hiring him now. Like, okay, guys, let's think about like this. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
I knew we were gonna go there.
Will Smith,
Yeah.
like Will Smith was loved and cherished by everyone.
Yeah, you national
Will Smith
treasure,
slapped Chris Rock and lost a lot. Like it's been what 2 years.
bro.
Yeah.
And now I just seen they're making a new movie. What's it called a new
I am
Boys
Legend.
to Men.
no I Legend, but Bad Boys, right?
Oh yeah.
Boys
Bad
to
Boys 5.
Yeah,
Men.
Yeah,
Bad Boys 4, I think. But
Yeah.
like now he's just doing it with Martin, and
yeah,
and and we going into that. But at the same time, we haven't heard from this man for a while,
yeah.
and he just now doing that movie. Nobody wanted to hire him. People were outraged. They're like, "Oh yeah, all you get the comments like, "Oh yeah, if that was my wife, I would have slapped him too." And then you got the reasonable people, like just because somebody says something as a joke doesn't mean you can walk up and slap somebody in the face.
Right.
But he just slapped somebody.
Yeah.
We're talking about Jonathan Major having like about to go to jail because they're saying that he abused his girlfriend
Mm,
physically.
mhm,
Yeah.
And people ain't gonna take too kindly to that, even though from what I know, it was just that he like I guess he heard her while he was trying to hold her down, like restrain
mm,
her, and then he
mm,
ran. Um, but I don't know. Somebody else was saying that they have video evidence of him, like her being passed out in his closet or something, and the
mm,
cops found her. I don't know.
Who would have
Uh,
recorded that?
yeah, exactly. I don't know, but all I know is I saw the video of him trying to run away, and a man trying to run away, even if he did cheat on her and she was mad, like that still doesn't count because people get cheated on every single day. That doesn't mean you can like beat the tar out of somebody
mm,
Right.
or like fight them, whether you're a woman or a man. That's not right. So him trying to run away is I'm like, bro, he's trying to leave. Like even if he was like move and ran, that doesn't make him abusive.
mm.
But again, I have limited information. So people are up in arms at that. I'm like, I don't see anybody really hiring him right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Unless
Yeah, that would
they're
be wild.
like unless they're they don't care and like what, we're gonna give you a chance. But then I see people maybe not supporting the movie as much.
Mm,
I mean, I just feel like in the public eye with our climate of social media and social justice, I feel like he may not have like some acting roles for a while,
Yeah,
especially with big name places.
yeah.
he'll probably be cooked for a little bit. I mean, it was interesting because like the whole thing was happening and they like released Loki season 2.
Yeah,
And I feel like if it was super duper controversial, they would have done something like then. Even though it was all shot, I mean, we've seen it before where they've shot entire films and then there's like complete reshoots with everything.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't see him getting back in Disney, and I know that they had mentioned that he's done. They don't want to do things with him right now too. I mean, obviously, like he'll have roles. We've seen it. Shia LaBeouf, he was wilding out. He got
Yeah.
back. People love him. So Justin Majors, I mean, I don't know. He might have enough. He might have enough clout where after a couple of years he can come back and do his thing. But for the sake of Marvel, I mean, if they're not going to recast him with that other dude, I forget the other actor's name.
Other
Uh,
actor.
oh man. I don't know. I gotta look it up because I'm looking at him in my head. Let's see. Boo. Hold up, I'm gonna look it up right now. But they're trying to they either recast him or they'll just take out his character completely.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see if I could pull up the dude's name. But if they don't, I mean, honestly, I would think that it would just make more sense just to start fresh
Mhm,
Yeah.
and just get a whole different actor, man.
mhm.
Or not actor, get like a whole different like villain.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like honestly, we only saw Kang. Of course, we saw Kang in what was it again now with Loki,
Yep.
and we saw Kang in the
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I don't think that many people care about that. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Oh, Coleman Domingo, that's his name.
Coleman Domingo. I can't picture his face right now. But again, if you like those movies and shows don't really count that much. Like I
Mm,
don't really see people caring that Kang wasn't in, he was in Ant-Man 3 and now like now he's not. And at the same time, how many movies were promised to us that we didn't get?
mhm.
Like how many sequels and things of that nature was promised or like hinted at that we never received.
Yep.
Even Shang-Chi. Like Shang-Chi had Hulk at the end and it was Bruce Banner with what's his face?
The
The
Asian dude.
yeah, I can't remember his
Oh, Wong.
Wong,
Wong.
Wong.
who pulls him up and he's like, "Oh yeah, look, it looks like your what's it called? The bangle, the bracelets. They
Yeah.
the 10 rings. They're like cosmic or whatever. They're not from Earth or something like that." And it was supposed to be hinted at that something else was happening. Like we haven't heard jack squat.
No, we
My
have
boy
not.
Shang-Chi is shaking in pink in the Barbie movie. He
Yeah.
running with dogs in a marathon movie thing with
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. He ain't got no Marvel money right now. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, you don't even know what's happening unless they're gonna drop something big this year, like a huge teaser that they were working on all along.
Yeah.
But how many things do we get? So who cares? Like just
Eternals. What happened to Eternals, bro?
yeah,
Yeah. They yeah. This they actually just came out not long ago and said, "Hey, we're moving on from there won't be any sequel as far as that Marvel's 3 and or something else I'm forgetting, but Eternal's another one that they're abandoning the ship.
Have to, because it's just like it's pointless.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Unfortunately,
oh, I mean, so at this point, with what we know is coming out, like Fantastic Four, we kind of tapped on that in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Before we get into Death Battle, let's take this minute. Who do you think should be casted and could be done well? Galen, go first. You got 20 seconds.
Dang. Who cast it as who?
take
As the
my
main
extra
big
20.
bad.
I don't know.
Uh, cast it in oh man. Cast in the movie?
Yeah, like who should be the big bad of the MCU now that King is out and
All
Justin.
right.
Oh,
With that in mind, Doom, Doom for sure should be the big bad, even though they're probably already going in there. But I'll just say Doom because I yeah, feel that that's the direction. Now, as far as casting,
Well,
oh
I don't know.
man,
I mean, I don't know actors like that, but
okay, me neither. But I'll say Doctor Doom right now.
what about you, Sean? We're
Power.
not too sure.
No, I'm gonna say Doom. I feel like that's the only feasible answer.
Yeah.
I would actually say Galactus. So with
Okay.
Fantastic Four bringing in Silver Surfer from Shia LaBeouf, if they are from a different universe,
Yep.
you could create a story where they've already been or already had interactions with this Galactus character. You need Shia
And
LaBeouf.
then he comes
Have,
in.
he comes in, and now Galactus is an Avengers level threat. He's threatening the whole world, which would bring all of these MCU characters that are currently alive together, and we have to beat Galactus.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 100% though. All the people we got right now are getting washed.
It's true. But maybe Daredevil can do it. Anyways, because Kingpin apparently. Oh, you know what? Maybe Echo can do it because if she can beat Kingpin,
I know.
she can beat anybody.
She just brings the power of guilt to the
Power of
Ads, are
nothing.
you really going to hit me? That's what you're gonna say. Are you really gonna hit me?
So at this point, we got the freaking death battle, the
Yeah.
best part of the whole episode.
Yes, sir.
So what did we talk about? We had someone lined. I forget who it was. After we rant, I forget.
Honestly, I don't think this is fair, but Krillin versus Thanos.
Krillin versus Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. Who's winning?
Oh.
I really don't think it's fair because like Thanos has reality bending abilities. Like Krillin is strong, don't get me wrong. I feel like Krillin could take any body on Earth. I feel like he could give a lot of people, most of the Avengers, a run for their money and like body them, unless it's like Thor or the Hulk. Even like maybe when the Hulk first gets angry,
Mm.
Krillin could fight because, for example, if we think about it, uh, when Nappa comes down, Nappa comes to Earth. Nappa landed in the middle of a city, mind you. He went like this, and the entire city
Leveled.
obliterated from the
Yeah.
outside. Like it obliterated. Piccolo shot the moon with a regular beam. It wasn't his special beam cannon. It wasn't his Masenko Ha. It was just a regular beam, blew the moon up. Now, Krillin was weak at the time. He still fought those people, but when he went to Namek and got his powers unlocked, his potential unlocked, he shot up into the thousands of power level. And I'm sure Krillin fought the androids, fought Cell, and everything else. I feel like Krillin's strong, but I think Thanos has too many like reality bending abilities that would.
He's got the cheat code.
So without the Infinity Gauntlet, take for the average viewer,
Just strength.
Take Thanos at the end of not the end of Endgame, but like when he was fighting Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor.
With no one. Oh yeah, Krillin's bodying him, bro.
Krillin.
Krillin would have been in there and punched him one time, and his jaw would have shattered, bro.
I mean,
I would do that too. I mean, I would say that.
Krillin stood up to, well, more or less stood up to Frieza, who blew up the planet. He blew up multiple planets.
With a finger.
With a finger, Planet Vegeta, and then obviously Namek, and then technically Earth before it got reversed. In Resurrection F.
Yeah.
So I think that Mono, he don't stop. I mean, on top of that, so I kind of think that I think Krillin has it in the bag. I mean, Iron Man was putting it to him in Infinity War to a point, until for a drop of blood. But I still think that I don't know. That's just my feels.
And Krillin's a master martial artist.
Yes.
His Destructo disc can cut through anything.
Yeah.
And he has the Kamehameha wave.
Yeah. Solar
and
flare.
regular any energy blast and solar flare.
Yeah.
Like if Krillin was serious and Thanos has no gauntlet, and he's boxing with him the same way Thor and him were boxing, because they weaken Thor so much. Like Krillin is punching him, and Thanos is going flying.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'll give it to Krillin.
Finally, Krillin gets a win.
What about Yamcha versus Thanos?
I think Yamcha would even put up a fight.
Yamcha might do it.
I feel like Yamcha trained with King Kai.
He did,
bro.
I mean, the android did the thing, but even Vegeta was getting washed up by Android 18. So and Vegeta had Super Saiyan. So you know what I mean? Like
Yamcha tried to sell juniors. He tried.
He tried.
And that's all we asked for. But that's your death battle, people. Give it to Krillin.
Give it to Krillin. Finally, my man gets a W. We don't have to wish him back. Congrats to Krillin. We are going to have a future episode on Akira Toriyama and just give the man his flowers and everything. So that is definitely incoming. Well, that will be our episode for this evening. As usual, like, subscribe, comment. Let us know who you want to see. Let us know topics you want to talk about and cover. We just Primate Boston just found out we had a Twitter. So please go. So please go on that. We'll leave the link below. And as usual, please be safe. Talk to you guys. Peace.
Peace. It's X now.